Oh, it's already on. What's up? What's up, guys? I hope you are doing really, really well. It's another what is it? Tuesday night, and y'all up. Everybody up. We don't sleep. It's what is it? Quarantine. Our sleep patterns are off. We're tired. We just be up all night. I thank you guys for jumping on in. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. So I was doing a broadcast. What's up, Kirsten? I was doing a broadcast on Facebook, just kind of talking about how afraid we are as people of our own success. And I was like, okay, you know what? On Facebook, we all have our what's up, man? Happy belated birthday. Hey, Tamara. On Facebook, we have our personalities where it's kind of like, you got to be real polished because your mama got a Facebook page and she's liable to see something or respond to something. So you kind of have to be real politically correct and do stuff to make your mom proud, because if she shares it, you don't want her to be like, what is this? And then on Instagram, you can kind of really be more of yourself. You can kind of say what you really mean and get right to it. What's up? What's up, guys? And just kind of you know what? Hey, Brittany. You can just really kind of get to it. What's up, April? And that's what I wanted to do. So listen, I got a broadcast that I just did on Facebook. If you haven't, go watch it. If not, catch this one. So let me tell you something. What I've learned, and I'm gonna y'all know it's true. We are real different on Instagram than what we are on Facebook. And I'm gonna tell you honest to God truth. Me too. You can backslide on Instagram. You can. That's not why I'm here. Hey, Brittany, I miss you as well. So let me tell y'all something. So I came back to Atlanta about 2 months ago, and I have really been kind of committed and consistent and really kind of doing some things for me. And one of the things that I've been doing for me has been taking my health very seriously. So I have the pleasure of working for one of the biggest and most major, most influential up and coming health brands, Healthy and Better, led by a phenomenal woman in Chicago named Dr. Camila Stevenson. And it's transformed my life. I try not to eat some stuff. I try not to drink certain things. I just try to be a little bit more conscious. So when I came back to Atlanta just to kind of relax and get my mind together, I realized that I've got to do something different. I was committed to myself, or I made a commitment to myself. Tamara, shut up. My diet is not bad. That's not why I'm here. Point of the story, I've been hiking this mountain a couple times a week and really working out, trying to get in the best shape of my life. Outside is actually opening back up. We thought this summer was going to be all about personality, and then boom, you need a body again. I just said that. Stuff that you can say on Instagram that you can't say on Facebook. But needless to say, I started hitting the ground running, legitimately running, working out. And you can think of it, I was doing it. I'm taking supplements, everything I can think of that's going to help me to get my summer shape, body, abs, chest together. I was going to do it, and I've been doing it. And one of the things that I've been doing was hiking this mountain. So I don't live in downtown Atlanta. I kind of live, see, that's the thing. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I live out in the suburbs. And one of the things that the great part about being out there is that I'm able to kind of hike this mountain as much as I need to. And of course, when you start to change your scenery and doing some things differently, you really start to your mind starts to open back up. You really start to kind of look at some things and from the right angle, from the right perspective. You start to, meditating. What else do y'all be spending time with God, however you want to call it. You start doing all those things, and then life starts to all of a sudden make more sense. And so that's what kind of happened to me. So today specifically, I've been going up this mountain for the last 2 months, but for some reason today, the whole journey is legitimately was something different. It was a completely revelatory, and I got a whole lot of answers. Thank you so much, Steve the Great. You walk. Beautiful. I got a whole lot of answers that I did not have. And so I kind of started to reflect on, now I'll be honest, God has been good. I've worked hard. And so I've been able to see the fruit of my labor. I've been able to learn some great lessons. I've been able to profit in a great way. And it's kind of changed how I've moved when it came to life. And one of the things that I was thinking about today was at what point in time was I okay with being not a success? So follow me. So one thing that I've learned, I've been coaching people for personal and business coaching for the last, man, you're crazy, for the last few years, 4 or 5 years. And I have realized this: people who are subpar chose to be subpar. I will say it again for the people in the back. The individuals that chose to be subpar or that are subpar chose to be subpar. This is let me tell you why. Because one thing about this is for sure, if you want to be a success in whatever it is in life you're trying to do, you've got to be willing to change. Now, real moment. How many of y'all have been like, you know what? I don't really want to change. I actually want you to put in the comments so I don't feel like a Shannon, Tamara, and Kristen, log out if y'all gonna have a whole your own conversation. But how many people have been okay with saying, you know what, I want the best out of life, but I don't want to make any changes to get it? And I'm gonna give it to you the way I did not give it to Facebook. That is stupid. There is no way that there's absolutely no way that you're able to get to another place and to another level if you're not willing to make changes. Who told you and who helped you believe that you could get to a place called there or get to a place called success, whatever success looks like for you? Like, who told you can get to the next level of money and you're not changed and you haven't changed? You haven't made any amendments. You haven't made any shifts. You haven't pivoted in any kind of way. You haven't realigned anything. I'm not sure like where we got this logic from, but I've sat down with clients for the last 3 months. And the consistent theme is that, hey, I'm trying to do this. And my first question is always, what are you willing to change? I will tell you what I know firsthand. There are people who we see right now that COVID, the pandemic, has shown us that everything that we thought was stable is not as stable as we thought it is. And so you have people out there who are going through, who are suffering, who are losing, and they don't really know why. And they kind of can't quite understand and connect the dots. What was the question? On what it is you need. Victoria Britton, you need to book a coaching session with Coach Ed. Tell your mama to put her debit card out. There are people who are like being forced to shift and to pivot, and they're like, hey, I don't know what to do next. I don't really know what kind of movements to make. I know I need to do something, but I don't want to do the work that it requires for change to happen. Now, I've been there. I've wholeheartedly been there. I've wanted abs. I've wanted a couple $1,000s. I've wanted a new car. I've wanted all these things at different points in my life, but I was never willing to make the changes that these things require. Like, there comes a point in life where we gotta get out of fairy tale land and you gotta come into the awareness that whatever doesn't happen to you 8 times out of 10, unless God stopped it, it's your bad. It is your fault. You chose not to do what needed to be done to get you where you're trying to go. I get it. We all have had different life stories, different upbringings, all these kind of different things like that. But at some point in time, you've got to remove your own excuses. I'm preaching to myself. You've got to be willing to say, you know what? Let me give this all my effort. I've been able to produce with giving it a little effort, a half effort. But it's like, what happens when I really give it my all? What happens when I really start to push? What happens when I start to make those small changes that I've resisted? Do you know what happens when you resist change? When you resist change, you sign up for struggle. Somebody put my Cash App in the comments. When you resist and you're not willing to change, you sign up for struggle. Now I want you all to take a moment and do some inventory and just think about everybody in your life. Those people that are in your circle and your circumference, those people that are struggling, I want you to think about them. And if it's you, think about you. Playing a little bag of seeds. Huh? I don't know what that means. Think about when you think about people who are struggling. Generally, especially when it comes to those that are around you, you can identify some instant places and spaces where they've said no to change. I'm not saying they're having a hard time changing. There are people who said no to change. When you say no to change, when you resist, when you've already put in your mind that I'm not changing, you are signing up to struggle. See, I can be Coach Ed in my sessions. I'm like, listen, you're saying you're struggling, you don't know why. And my first question is, where did you say no? Where have you said I'm not going to make a sacrifice? Where have you said I'm not going to change? And that's why you're struggling. That's why you're not really seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. That's why you're working and you're not really, your life's kind of like in a slippery slope to like back and forth. It's because you said no to change. I promise you, all those people that we love to celebrate, whether it's athletes, musicians, singers, pastors, authors, whoever it is, at some point they said, you know what, I've got to change. I've got to change my spending habits. I've got to change what I do. I've got to change where I go. I've got to change who I'm around. At some point they said, I've got to change. They even said, I've got to change my mind. One of the biggest things one of the biggest hurdles that I had to cross when it came to my business is understanding that people don't understand the power of investing into themselves. We as people, especially those with my skin complexion, we specialize in self-neglect. If you ever want to know who has a master's degree in self-neglect, they look like you. It's probably your mama, it's probably your daddy, it's probably your aunt, your uncle, it's probably you. We have conditioned our minds to never put ourselves first. And we wonder why our lives don't look like what we dream about, what we prayed about, what the prophet released, or what we saw on TV. It's because you've never chosen to put yourself first. I push people all the time, and I'm like, okay, the first investment you need to do is making you. Now, you made the first one because you signed up for a coaching session with me, bless you. But the second one you need to do is commit to yourself. Like, you're going to stay subpar if you don't say, I got to do it for me. Let me tell you something. I learned some beautiful lessons in serving. My life, my business, everything opened up because I was able to serve and to sow my gifts and talents into a phenomenal guy named Pastor AD in Huntsville, Alabama. He's doing some great, great things. But at some point, I had to say, okay, you know what? Boom. I've been doing for somebody else. I've got to do for me. Now, maturity says I've been doing for them. If it's not my time to move and to go, I create the time to do for them and to also do for me. A lot of y'all broke is because you're doing what you're doing for everybody else, what you could be doing also for you. We gotta pull the rug from a bunch. Like, I promise you, it's not a God issue. It's because you're putting all of your energy and your efforts into somebody else and never saving something for yourself. We gotta remove that little cloud of that. What is the nice way I want to say it? We gotta remove that little thing where you be like, hey, you know what? I'm doing this for them. I'm serving them, committed. Yeah, like nah. You have got to get to a point where you say to yourself, you know what? I take myself seriously. I remember the day in my car when the light bulb went off and I committed to Evan. 3 years ago, driving up the Parkway, headed to church, I made a decision to commit to myself. Let me tell you all, since that day, my life has flipped inside out 4 to 5 times, but I'm in some great ways and also in some bad ways. This is your church. Say how you feel it. My life has flipped inside out. Let me tell you something. It was the best decision I ever made. A lot of you are not, and not just you, us. It used to be me too, so I get it. A lot of us are never gonna get there because we won't choose us. You won't choose you. You won't choose you, but you want somebody else to choose you. I don't get it. It's like, where did this come into play? You've got to be willing to make yourself a priority. Especially for those of you who have like a smidget of a dream. If you got this much of a dream, you probably got this much money waiting on you in the first 6 months. I will say it again. If you got this much of a dream or an idea or a concept, you probably have this much money waiting on you in the first 6 months. And I can tell you how I know, because it was me. When I stepped out and said, I'm going to do it for me, everything did not become a struggle. Some things started to happen smooth and started to go, and some things started to hit my hands. Some things started to hit my account. Some things started to hit my life, all because I said, I'm going to do it, nervous, afraid, but I'm going to do it anyway. But I'm so committed to me. I've decided to commit enough to me to say, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to stop doing for everyone else and finally do some things for me. If you don't hear anything I'm saying today for the rest of this thing, hear this. Do it for you. Because let me tell you something about life. When you get 10, 20 years down the line, if your life still sucks and it's subpar, it's because you chose to. I said it so many times earlier till I'm blue in the face. Struggle is something that we signed up for. Struggle. Like, it's different than tough times, rough moments, but struggle is often something we signed up for. I'll break it down again. Some of y'all, because it used to be me, have enrolled in Struggle University. Some of you have enrolled in the master's degree in Struggleomics. You got to Some of you have got a doctorate in self-sabotage, self-neglect, and struggle. And you're trying to fight through all of that just to have a smile on your face one day out of the week. Come on, man. Like, flat out, come on. It's you got to get to a point where you say, you know what? I chose part of this. Now, some of it might have been a generational curse. It might have been a bloodline thing. It might have been a part of your story. But at some point, you can say, okay, I done got a little too comfortable not doing anything. I done got a little too comfortable riding somebody else's coattail. I got a little too comfortable not really doing what I need to do. And it's your own fault. Again, I when I am in my sessions with my clients, I'm able to tell them flat out, the life that you want is one decision away from you. And that decision is you choosing you. We limit that to just relationships. Oh, be a better. Save it. Apply it to something else. You watching this broadcast, whether it's a replay or not, are one decision away from really making some noise in your own life. And at the end of the day, it's your own fault. You got to choose you. You got to sit down and say, you know what? I care about me enough to commit to me. I care enough about me. I care enough to commit to me, not to anybody else, but to you. And I can harp on this point. And if you guys don't know, I have an amazing webinar on Thursday called Help I Push Everyone Else Except Myself. A lot of us, and I mean us, specialize in making everybody else look good and making sure everybody else's stuff is intact and in place. And you become bitter because you never did it for you. And this is the thing, it's no age cap on that. Like, I'm getting ready to turn 30 and I coach clients that are literally 55 and 60. I've had whole pastors with 4 kids in mega churches sit on the phone with me and cry because they have not been able to do what they needed to do for them. They chose consistently everybody else, but they never chose themselves. And whatever that looked like, whether that was an additional venture, a book, a small business, being okay with jumping into some other passions, like, whoo. So you mean to tell me you're willing to go throughout life and to be borderline miserable, unhappy, toxic, and nobody wants to be around you because you won't make the decision to say, you know what? I'm going to do something for me. I'm going to choose me this time. I am going to get into a habit of no longer self-neglecting, or I'm going to turn in my degree and my certification on I self-neglect. I don't get it. I refuse for that to be me 3 years ago, and I refuse for that to be anybody else I have the ability to touch, because this is the thing about it. I said it. One decision away from you having the life of your dreams. You're one decision away from you getting some stuff that you've always wanted to have. And we can break it down to material things because we all wanted it. Y'all, I can tell you all this. In the last 3 years, I have seen my financial portfolio, my confidence, my connections blow out the wazoo. But it all started when I made a decision to commit to myself. I said, I'm going to start this business 4 years ago and don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know nothing about anything, but I'm going to figure it out. I committed to me. Now, I can say this proudly because God is faithful. I work for myself. I make my own hours. I drive a really nice car. I have a pretty great life, and it can only get better because I'm committed to me and I'm committed to God. Now, that's the recipe. You're looking for a recipe to win? Commit to yourself and commit to God. I promise you, for the believers, and then for those who do not believe, just focus on committing to yourself. Commit to yourself and then commit to your higher power. Then we'll work out the salvation piece later on down the line. But the purpose of this is you got to be willing to commit to you, because I'm telling you, I can't say it enough. Struggle is your choice. You, right there. If you're struggling, part of that, 75% of that is because you chose to. Not because you had to, you chose to. And I cannot make you not see that. You got to just see it and just do me a favor and say, I accept it. Matter of fact, in the comments, if I'm talking to you, just say, you know what? I accept that I got some work to do and I've got some commitments to make, and my commitment needs to be to me. A lot of us have too many commitments on the table. You don't have enough space to deal with you. You don't have enough room to deal with you. You don't even have enough capacity to deal with, to commit to you. Lord, touch my mind. But it's like, You got to be saying, you got to be willing to say, you know what, I commit to me. I accept. I accept the fact that I have not done it right. I've accepted the fact that I've put everything into everyone else. But I also can accept the fact that I'm going to put myself first. I'm going to make myself a priority. I'm no longer going to self-neglect consistently. Yes, I'll make the sacrifices. Yes, I understand the power of investment. I'll do what I've got to do. But at the end of the day, I'm committing to me. Because if I don't commit to me, nobody and nothing is obligated to be there with me. Outside of your mom and God. Y'all hear it. Y'all get my drift. Like, if you don't choose you, nobody else really has. You got to put yourself period. So I'm encouraging you all to go from self-neglect to almost like a healthy version of self-centered. Say, you know what? This is going to affect my peace. You know what? I'm trying to buy a house. You know what? I'm trying to save to start a business. You know what? I can't talk on the phone. I got to write my book right now, Kirsten. You know what? I would love to hang out with y'all, but I'm going to be a good steward of my time. You know what? I need to grow some more. I'm feeling really stagnant. I'm going to buy a book instead of buying a bottle. Whatever you got to do, you got to commit to you. Oh, my favorite one. I want to get my body together. I want to go on vacation. I want to be able to wear what I want to wear and be comfortable. Good. Commit to you. Commit to a workout. Follow Dr. Camila Stevenson. Join us. We're not eating meat and stuff today or this week and all that kind of stuff like that. But you got to be willing to commit to you. That's simple. As simple as that is, that's really it. You got to be willing to commit to you, because when you commit to you, everything is guaranteed to change. I've seen it happen with my own life. I've seen it happen in the life of my friends. I've seen it happen in the life of my clients. When you commit to you, everything is forced to change. Like I'll say it again. When you commit to you, everything is forced to change. Are you taking new clients? Yes, I am. You can go to my website, coachev.com, and you can book a coaching strategy session as early as tomorrow. So I thank you guys for jumping on. But before I leave real quick, I want to leave you guys with this. I've got a webinar on Thursday, and I guarantee you probably need to be a part of it. It's called Help. I Push Everyone Except Myself. What I'm doing is breaking down what I've done to not just make me a happier person and full of joy, what I've been able to do to make me a little extra money. Let me tell y'all this. In my first 2 years of business, and I did my business part-time. I had a full-time job. I taught at the university. Then I had my business. In 2 years, I cleared about $15,000 out of my part-time business. That changed my life. It showed me that I had the earning potential and the power to do what I needed to do, but I had to be willing to push myself and not always push everyone else. Hey, Ebony, check your spam, but if not, we'll get one out to you tomorrow for sure. So listen, if you please make the decision to invest in yourself, because I promise you this, I'm not wasting my time, and I'm teaching you all what I've mastered. I don't share anything that I have not mastered. If I haven't mastered it, I'm not going to talk about it. So you're not going to be able to tell me how you doing this in your life. You can't even, that won't be my story. But I'm telling you all, this is going to transform you, because it's transformed me and my pockets and my family and my mindset and my relationships for the last 3 years. It's called Help. I Push Everyone Except Myself. And I think there's like a way for me to like put it on there. I don't know if it's not, but I'm gonna drop it right in the comments real quick. But also, if you do have a question, ask right now. One of the things I shared on Facebook was that often people are like, hey, I don't know what to do, and I'm not really making the progress that I wanted to or that I could have made. But a lot of that's because you don't ask the right questions. You're afraid to be rejected. You're afraid that somebody's gonna say no, when in all actuality, people are gonna say yes. I was telling them earlier, I have been coaching and mentoring business owners and authors for the last 2 years for free. Didn't care nothing about a payment. So I'm like, I care about this. I'm doing this. I want you to get it. That's how important it was for me, for other people to get it, was that I was willing to give it for free. But now it's like, oh, let's do it. We got work to do. We got lives to change. We got people to affect. But I promise you, it all starts with you making a commitment to you and saying, you know what? I'm doing it for me. I'm pushing myself. I'm getting out of self-neglect. I'm gonna make it happen for myself. If I don't make it happen for me, who's gonna make it happen for me? Nobody. That's what Keith Sweat said. So listen, do me a favor right now. Go to coachev.com. Somebody just signed up. Sign up for the webinar Help. I push everyone except myself. I promise you, the only difference between you and the people that you admire are the decisions that you make and the decisions you made about you and the investment and commitment you made to yourself. There is certainly a burden to be a blessing, blessed, because sometimes people are scared of success because it comes with responsibility. Absolutely. Respect comes with, success comes with responsibility, and it forces you to grow up. A lot of us don't want to grow up. That's a whole other topic within itself, but we don't desire to grow up because it requires us to change, as I've been saying the whole time. Success requires necessary change. So listen, I've said it until I'm blue in the face. If you guys have any questions, drop it right here in the comments. But I am personally inviting each and every one of you to Thursday night session. If you can't watch it live, it's fine. You'll get the replay link right after. Help. I push everyone except myself. Because this is the thing. If you don't do it for you, it's your own bad. Because there are people out here saying, you know what? I'm not going to be subpar. I'm not going to subscribe to struggle. I am unenrolling from Struggle University because I realize that struggle is a choice, and struggle is a matter of what decisions I choose to make and what decisions I don't make. Y'all hear that? Struggle is a choice of what decisions you do make and what decisions you do not make. So listen, that's me. That's my time. I'm ready to go watch some Netflix and relax, but I promise you all, join me for Help. I push everyone except myself, primarily because you need it, and I'm willing to do it. I got it out here for you. And guys, it's only $27. I just forgot to mention that part. Often I host courses for a whole lot more than that, but this to me was so important that I wanted to get it out there. I realized that your life can change when you choose to commit to you and to support yourself and invest in yourself. So listen, thank you. I guess we have no other questions. I appreciate you stopping in. We'll be back tomorrow. I tell myself I'm going to do this a lot more, but I didn't think people would actually jump on and watch. But people have actually jumped on and watched and talked to me, and I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. I talk to myself enough. But most importantly, I'm glad I know this is able to help you. So do me a favor. Share this to a friend. I know if your circle is as broken as most people's circles are, you got at least one friend who needed to hear this. Send it to them. Send them a bit of encouragement and just say, hey, you know what? Just listen to this before you go to bed. Listen to this in the morning. I know it's going to help you and push you. It's going to be just what I needed to hear last night, and I want you to hear it because I want us to get better and push forward together. So listen, that's my time. Thank you guys so much for being a part. Don't forget, go to www.coachev.com. Sign up right now for Help. I push everyone except myself. I look forward to those 2 hours together. And again, if you can't make it to the live session, you'll get the replay with the question and answer session, all that together right after the event closes. So you'll be able to watch that tomorrow night or Thursday night once it's all said and done. So again, I love you all. It's Coach Ev. Have a great night. Watch some TV. No, don't watch some TV. This is a homework assignment. Sit down and get a sheet of paper or use your iPhone notes and write down what commitments you're making to you. I feel the need to do that. Write down what commitments you're making to you. And I'll tell you this, those commitments can be things that may not make everybody else happy. It may not make your mom and dad happy. It may be contrary to their dream and to their idea. But I promise you, make a list of what is going to be for you. What commitments you're going to make to you, and then kind of put some dates on there, put some timelines on there, and allow yourself to be catapulted and prepared for you to live your best life. 'Cause I tell you this, on the other side of these kind of tough decisions that are not really that tough is nothing but a bunch of rewards, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of increase, a lot of blessings, a lot of favor, a lot of different things are predicated on you just saying, you know what? I commit to me. I love you guys. Send this to a friend. Follow me if you don't follow me. Connect with me. Go to my website. Join my mailing list. All that good stuff that social media influencers are supposed to say. Do all that. But most importantly, I look forward to seeing you guys Thursday and again tomorrow. I love you all. Have an amazing night, okay?